300 miles off the coast of the Solomon Islands, the ocean is an endless void of deep pelagic blue. There is no land in sight, no reefs, no estuaries. This is the domain of apex marine predators, great white sharks, killer whales, and oceanic whitetips. A large green sea turtle is resting at the surface. It is highly adapted to this environment, its physiology perfectly engineered for the open sea. But the shadow rising from the depths beneath it is not a shark. It does not possess a dorsal fin. It is covered in heavily armored prehistoric osteoderms. With a sudden explosive burst of kinetic energy, the water erupts. Jaws generating over 3,000 pounds of bite force per square inch completely shatter the turtle's shell. This predator does not belong here. By every rule of traditional biology, this animal should be rotting in a muddy, brackish river system thousands of miles away. It's a cold-blooded, semi-aquatic ambush predator, yet here it is, dominating the middle of the ocean. This is Crocodylus porosus, the saltwater crocodile, the largest living reptile on Earth. For decades, we have fundamentally misunderstood this creature. We classify it as an estuary animal, a river monster. But when we look at the physiological telemetry and the biomechanical engineering of its body, a terrifying truth emerges. This animal isn't just capable of surviving the open ocean, it has entirely hijacked the physics of the sea to expand its empire. You are about to drop into the pelagic zone of the Coral Sea. The water here is crystal clear, highly oxygenated, and violently saline. For a terrestrial or semi-aquatic reptile, the open ocean is not a highway. It is a hyperosmotic death trap. The salt concentration in this water is far higher than the salt concentration inside the cells of a reptile. If a standard river crocodile were dropped into this environment, osmosis would mercilessly pull the fresh water out of its body and into the ocean. The animal would suffer catastrophic cellular dehydration. Its blood would thicken, its kidneys would fail, and its neurological system would collapse in a matter of days. Yet there are documented satellite-tracked cases of saltwater crocodiles traveling over 600 miles across the open ocean, spending weeks at sea without touching land. They have been sighted swimming near oil rigs in the middle of the sea, entirely unbothered by the crushing salinity. So the question we must ask is not simply how they survive. The question is exactly what biomechanical fail-safes did this ancient reptile engineer to conquer an environment that was specifically designed to kill it. To survive a hyperosmotic baseline, the saltwater crocodile was forced into a brutal physiological trade-off chain. It could not change its kidneys. Reptilian kidneys are functionally incapable of producing highly concentrated urine to expel excess salt. Instead, the crocodile engineered a secondary filtration system built directly into its mouth. Located on the surface of the animal's tongue are specialized, highly complex lingual salt glands. These glands act as localized desalination plants. As the crocodile inadvertently swallows seawater while crushing bone and flesh, these glands actively pump sodium and chloride ions out of the bloodstream and excrete them back into the ocean. It is a masterpiece of biochemical engineering. But solving the chemical problem immediately triggers a thermodynamic problem. Operating microscopic desalination plants on your tongue requires a constant expenditure of metabolic energy. The crocodile is burning calories just to keep its blood from turning toxic. And this brings us to the ultimate limitation of a cold-blooded reptile: aerobic stamina. A 2,000-pound crocodile cannot swim like a great white shark. It does not possess the cardiovascular infrastructure to maintain a sustained, high-speed cruising velocity across hundreds of miles of open ocean. If it tries to actively swim against the currents, it will exhaust its caloric reserves, go into lactic acidosis, and drown. To survive the open ocean, the saltwater crocodile had to figure out how to travel 600 miles without actually swimming. The open ocean is an economy of absolute punishing scarcity, governed by the Martin curve. For a massive reptile burning calories to operate its salt glands, energy conservation is a matter of life and death. To prevent its metabolic ledger from slipping into the red, the crocodile completely abandoned the concept of swimming. Instead, it weaponized the fluid dynamics of the ocean itself. Satellite acoustic telemetry has revealed something chilling. When a saltwater crocodile decides to cross the ocean, it functions exactly like a biological submarine. It waits in coastal waters for the outgoing tide to align with major surface currents. Once the current is moving in the correct direction, the crocodile launches itself into the flow, using its massive tail to steer, but expending functionally 0 calories on propulsion. It is entirely surf-riding the ocean highways. But ocean currents are chaotic. They shift with the tides and the wind. When the telemetry data showed the currents turning against the crocodiles, the researchers expected the animals to fight the flow. They didn't. Instead, the moment the current became unfavorable, the crocodiles instantly dove to the ocean floor, anchoring themselves in the dark. They lowered their heart rates to a near stop. They shut down non-essential organ functions and lay perfectly still in the freezing depths, holding their breath for hours at a time, simply waiting for the fluid dynamics of the ocean to shift back in their favor. The moment the tide turned, they surfaced and resumed their caloric free ride. This is how a river monster crosses the ocean. It doesn't fight the sea, it hacks it. It utilizes a flawless algorithmic understanding of hydrodynamics to move a 1-ton armored body across the globe while spending less energy than a sleeping dog. The open ocean demands absolute specialization. The animals that rule the pelagic zone, the sharks, the whales, the giant squid, are all engineered specifically for the deep. But the saltwater crocodile is an interloper. It is a creature of mud and mangroves that looked at the deadliest, most expansive environment on Earth and simply hijacked its physics. You look at this animal and you classify it as a river predator. But evolution doesn't care about our classifications. Evolution only cares about the ledger. And this reptile balanced its ledger so perfectly that it can casually cross an ocean that was designed to kill it. What part of this animal disturbs you the most? Is it the sheer terrifying force of a 2,000-pound reptile hunting in the open sea? Or the cold, calculated intelligence it uses to hijack the ocean's currents? Let me know your side of the ledger down below. Stay curious and keep watching the archive.